Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the 1894 podcast, and welcome back to normal Bristol City services. And that has been resumed. 2 games without a goal, 2 games without a win. A disappointing 0-0, a frustrating 0-0 draw at Birmingham. I forgot that, and a 1-0 defeat at home to Millwall. Yeah, I've got Matisse with me. Let's forget the football. Matisse, where are you right now? Because you're not in your usual settings, and it looks very nice from what I've just seen.
Yeah, hello everyone. I am very good. Currently in Egypt for a little New Year's trip, so brightens the mood a little bit after those 2 results. But yeah, very nice. Happy New Year to everyone listening. But yeah, not a great way to start 2024. I remember we went unbeaten because we continued that unbeaten one from that Millwall game. It was the Mill game. So the Mill game has now broken this little unbeaten run, but it started it this time last year, and we went all the way till February, I think, till that Man City game. Yeah, we have no unbeaten streak anymore, and yeah, it's very disappointing. Really, 2 games, 0 goals, 1 shot on target across 180 minutes, like probably 200 plus added time, a bit less, but it's not good enough. After those 3 games on the bounce, Hull, Watford, and Sunderland prior, 8 goals in 3 games, brilliant performances in the Hull and Watford, and then you go into struggling sides, and then we perform like that, and we have nothing going forward.
Yeah, and Birmingham have just sacked Wayne Rooney today as well. So, there you go. Struggling side indeed.
I feel like it wasn't given. Well, we can get onto it later, but it is a little bit harsh. But he was doing horrendously there. That they were going nowhere with him.
It's just at the moment John Eustace was sacked, it was just the wrong decision. Whoever came in was never going to get that. I don't think that sort of tune out of the squad. Apparently, Steve Cooper's been heavily linked, so that'll be an interesting appointment.
Or John Eustace goes.
I doubt it.
He won't. But
bloody hell, the wind has just tree fallen down or something. I'll check that later. It's just bloody hell.
I heard there were like thunderstorms in Bristol.
Oh, there's like a warning or something. What is it? A tornado warning, I think it was.
Has that ever happened in England?
God knows. Right, this was the team that faced Millwall yesterday. It was Max in goal, Tanner, Dickey, Viner, Pring. So it's the same back four and same goalkeeper. Joe Williams started his 3rd consecutive game in a row, I think it would have been. So Watford and then Birmingham and then Millwall. So 3rd consecutive game. Matty James came back into the starting 11, which I was very confused about, and it just didn't work. Jason Knight in there, obviously. Mehmeti kept his place on the left. Tommy Conway came back into the 11 in place of Naki Wells, who started at Birmingham. Andy Vyman came in ahead of Mark Sykes, who was rested. And then when he came on, we'll talk about that. Any obvious kind of surprises? I wouldn't say there was. I don't think there was too many complaints from me with a busy schedule and FA Cup games to balance and all that. I don't think there's too much complaints from me.
Yeah, exactly. Just the sheer amount of games, 4 games in 11 days, something like that. And we don't really have a lot of options. We have some rotation within that midfield. 2 of Williams, Matty James, and TGH. I thought better to have TGH in, bring a bit more of an attacking threat, which we obviously lacked against Birmingham. And then Tommy Conway back for Naki Wells was probably right. And then, Vyman in for Sykes. So, just a bit of rotation, fresh legs, rest some players, a lot of games. But, what followed after wasn't great.
I want to talk to you about the midfield in particular, because I thought it was abysmal yesterday. Just no real grip of the game. I'll talk to you about it at the end if you want. For Millwall, it was Sarkic in goals of back three of Sean Hutchinson, Jake Cooper, Ryan Leonard. Brook Norton Cuffy on the right-hand side. He was really good, I thought. He looks a good player. Billy Mitchell in midfield with George Honeyman. Again, looks a good player. Murray Wallace, Zian Fleming, Duncan Watmore, and Tom Bradshaw up top. I'm not, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say for the first 60 minutes, absolutely nothing happened. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. There was just nothing going on for 60 minutes. It just felt completely flat. And yeah, I think there was the one Jason Knight header, which was saved very well by Sarkic. It was a really good save down low to his right. But apart from that, there was just nothing from both sides.
That I think it was the most boring game of football I've ever watched until until the late winner. But yeah, it's similar to the Birmingham game. It's just between each box, but never actually creating anything. That night header you mentioned was a decent chance. I mean, he's one of the shortest players. He's the shortest player in the squad probably, and he always gets his head through corners and crosses. But it's a good save, and that was literally that was our only shot on target in the last two games. So yeah, just so poor. And yeah, we had most of the ball in that first half, but we just did nothing. Passed it through the midfield, just sideways, backwards, never looking to make a run or play someone through. And yeah, we just had no threat at all. And you can argue Millwall, yeah, one of those sides, and where the game's always scrappy, but they are trying to play a different brand of football under their new manager. And I feel like this game was a bit less scrappy than unusual games against like Birmingham, Millwall, and those types of teams. I felt like we had the chance, we had the ball, we could have created something, but we just had nothing really.
Yeah, we had 57% possession in that first half. We had a lot of it, and it felt at the end of the first half, okay, can we create some bigger chances? Can we create some more high quality chances? I think in the first half there was one little piece of play from Joe Williams and Jason Knight where they had a little 1-2, and Joe Williams was completely free. He was past the midfield. He was completely free, and it was Tommy Conway and Vyman and Mehmeti with Joe Williams. It was completely free, and then you had but he should have picked out a better pass. But I think there should have been a little better, like little clever patterns of play, and I don't think that's quite there. I think that will come with time, hopefully. But that was, I think, the lacking element. It was all very safe. It was all, hopefully trying to build up to something, hopefully building up to a goal. But it always, felt like we needed that injection of energy and that injection of just someone to take a man on. I thought Mehmeti, who's normally our, go-to man in terms of getting the ball out left, he'll take a man on, try and beat someone. That didn't happen. That didn't happen either. Yeah, first half, apart from that Jason Knight header, nothing happened. Millwall, and then in the second half, I thought Millwall were far the better team.
Yeah, they definitely came in after the break with a lot more, and they looked the more likely to score, to be honest. Yeah, they were just getting the ball more forward, and yeah, they obviously, I mean, I don't know the exact statistics, but they had more shots and well, they had more
They had
possession in
10
the second half.
shots.
I feel like
They had 10 shots in the second half. 10.
yeah, 10 shots. Yeah, and they only had one in the first, so you can tell there it was a game of two halves, and yeah, two shots on target only, but yeah, they looked the more dominant. You look at the momentum curve as well. I don't know. Yeah, they looked the more likely. I never saw us scoring, to be honest. After 20 minutes, you could just tell that there was just nothing, and especially after the Birmingham game. I mean, I think most of us thought after that Watford 4 goals past them away from home, thought maybe something had clicked, and now we're going to move forward. But then, yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Birmingham one, I think they were playing not to lose. It was a bit harder, but still, when we have that amount of the ball, we should be good enough to crack these teams and score goals and create chances if we want to be at that top level and to challenge for the playoffs. So yeah, just so poor. And then end it off. I mean, Liam Manning saw enough and did some substitutions earlier than normally does. And yeah, the two subs were Mark Sykes and Taylor Garton-Hickam, which are the two players who came off for this lineup originally. So yeah, Vyman came off and James came off, tried to spark some, I guess, some more attacking opportunities. But yeah, did nothing in the end.
Just didn't work. To be fair to Millwall, I thought they had an excellent shape in possession. I thought they out of possession. Sorry, I thought they were really well drilled, and you could see shades of the Gary Rowett side. I think from last season where they were really good in possession. No, sorry, really good out of possession, but maybe they just needed that element of that extra element going forward, and I think Joe Edwards is bringing that at the moment. But from a City perspective, it was just way too passive. Manning said it in his post-match. It was just way too passive. Just didn't do anything with the ball. And in the second half, we were not engaging with their press every time their back three had the ball. So Millwall were playing it out of the back more often than not. Just didn't press them well enough. Tommy Conway looked shattered, if I'm being brutally honest. Naki Welsh came on. We'll have a conversation about him if I'm later on, I'm sure. But it was just flat and uninspiring. And based on that second half performance, I wasn't overly surprised when that goal went in. Do you want to talk us through that late Millwall winner then?
Yeah. So, I mean, it comes to the 91st minute, and they win a corner. Floats in. I think it's headed out by Pring. I'm pretty sure Matty James, I remember correctly, and then headed back in. It's just one of those chances if you just get it into a dangerous area. But I mean, I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, Hutchinson takes it on his chest, just swings at it with his left foot, and I've got to say, it's a brilliant finish. And yeah, bottom right, no chance for Maximilian. It's a brilliant goal.
Yeah.
And yeah, they go off celebrating in front of the away end, and they secure the 3 points. And it was a hard one to take, because I felt like if we got that 0-0 again, we definitely would have taken a point there, and we can move on. And it's against Millwall, and we're still 5 unbeaten. But the fact that they got in again, last minute goal, hurt a bit. But I have to say, we didn't deserve anything out of that game, just from the way we played throughout the whole game. So yeah, was a hard one to say. I mean, yeah, but is what it is. And then what happened after was pretty entertaining from watching it online. I think you got it on your vlog as well, in front of the South Stand.
It was just the weirdest thing, because it was a dreadful set piece again. It's gone out of play. Joe Williams is chasing it alongside, I think, Ryan Leonard. Leonard, I don't know who starts it, to be honest. I don't know who starts it, but I think it's possibly Joe Williams's fault, because I think he just shoves him over the hoardings. It's really funny. It's the most entertaining bit of the whole game from a City perspective. Just shoves him over the board. Then I think Leonard then puts an elbow out like that into Joe Williams's face, and then Joe Williams just starts having a go at him. It's just the funniest thing. It has no effect on the result whatsoever, because there's I think the time was up by then, but it was just the funniest thing. It was, and I saw what is it? I saw Millwall fans why are you getting so agitated by that? Try watching that game from a Bristol City perspective for 95 minutes, and then say that was not the most entertaining bit of the whole game. It was. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, but that's bad when we're talking about a fight and saying that's the most entertaining bit of the game. And that I'm talking in detail about the fight and not the actual performance on the pitch, because honestly, all of those players need to, off the back of yesterday's result, and yeah, they've had a decent period of 4 games, but that result yesterday and that performance in particular was just lethargic and out of control, no rhythm, and it was just it was calming, that goal.
Yeah, definitely. It was just so lackluster. No point did we have any attacking threat throughout that game? And it's bad, yeah. We could waffle on for an hour, but there are literally no chances to even talk about. Knight's header and the goal and the fight. That's about it. That happened in 90 minutes of football, Ashton Gate. And yeah, it's surprising because we have quality players up front that have proven themselves and that can create chances and that are great players. But if you look at the wide perspective, we've scored 30 goals now in 26 games, and it's the lowest in. I think we're the bottom 7 from Stoke downwards. They've scored less than us, which is just very poor. So yeah, we just need the attacking threat is lacking, and well, now it is January now, so the transfer window has opened for the EFL. So let's see what Liam Manning and his team want to bring in, because I think we definitely need some additions. We do have players from injury coming back, I have to say, but no attackers. So
Ross McCrory's coming back. Ross McCrory's going to go straight into that 11. I'm sorry, but George Tanner is not convincing me in the slightest. In the games I've seen him, I'm not convinced. I have to say. He's yesterday, right at the end, I don't know if you saw this, right at the end, it was that we had another set piece, and then the ball went back to I think it was Gardner Hickman, and Gardner Hickman was surrounded by about 3 Millwall players. Give it back to George Tanner, literally like 5 yards. Everyone's going. Tanner just punts it forward. Instead of doing that, he half turns, and then he sees Zach Viner. So at least go to Zach Viner, just around like that, sideways pass. Instead, turns another 90 degrees, punts it straight back to Max O'Leary at pace, and he's just going, "What are you doing?" Like and that point, I think time was up as well. So it's just completely he doesn't fill me with confidence. And yesterday he wasn't great. Defensively, he's okay at times. He's probably one of my better defenders. I think he's better than Campering defensive wise. I thought Campering had a good game yesterday, by the way. But just generally, it just doesn't fill me with confidence, George Tanner.
He's just kind of an average championship player, and he's always kind of had his place in the team when we had players out. And obviously Kane Wilson's situation didn't work, so he's never really had any competition. So I feel like he's just been okay. There's nothing special that he really brings to the team, attacking wise, and defensively I think he's an okay right back. But the fact that we have Ross McCrory, I don't see him waiting on the sidelines for too long when he's back fit and ready for it. But
would you say would you say that if Manning is going to continue with this current system in possession, where it's a fullback always tucking in to allow the other fullback to just bomb on forward, do you think having 2 relatively attacking fullbacks is going to hinder that, or is he just going to sacrifice Campering's attacking game and just put him into a left centre back position?
I was just thinking about that as well, and I think Campering is more defensively suited and used to playing in that centre back position than Ross McCrory. And Ross McCrory did appear on Robin's TV. I think it was for the Birmingham game, and I remember him saying that he's pretty settled in that right back role, even though we know he is versatile and can play other positions. But I mean, it's good to know that we have the option to switch it up and maybe play Campering as more attacking, and then switch it maybe between games or during games. But I'd say I'd like to see how Ross McCrory can play in sort of right wing back position, because he scored a couple for Aberdeen, right? And I remember seeing that he started quite a few games.
Well, from what I've heard, Ross McCrory is a very attacking fullback, and he's just going to get the ball and he's just going to bomb forward at every opportunity. He's just going to do that, and he has pretty good quality at the end of it, hopefully. But I think that's the case with Ross. So hopefully that's the case, because I think we need a bit of injection down that right hand side. And because at the moment George Tanner is as good as George Tanner is in his own capabilities and his own kind of game. I'm not necessarily sure he's going to be consistent enough to build up, I don't know, rapport or I just don't know. I'm not convinced by George Tanner, I think, and that ultimately is the biggest problem with me. I want to talk to you about that midfield, because I thought yesterday, I thought Joe Williams. I was looking at it, and I said this in my match preview. I remember I said he might. I said he might take out Taylor Gardner-Hickman for Matty James, but then I said, well, having Joe Williams, Matty James in the same midfield, I don't think is going to work out. It didn't work out. We were way too passive in possession. And as soon as Taylor Gardner-Hickman came on, to be fair, we looked a little bit more, I don't know, not threatening, but we looked like maybe we could pass it forward a bit more than we did. But because Matty James and Joe Williams in the same midfield, I don't think works at all.
Yeah, I agree, because obviously Matty James is kind of an anchor and more defensive midfielder for us, and then Joe Williams. I mean, he's got a couple goals at his time at Bristol City, but a couple little flick-ons. But yeah, attacking wise, we need Taylor Gardner-Hickman in the midfield to create that, especially when Jason Knight is playing quite a lot further forward. That middle pass, the turn and pass forward. But I think we need to see more from him in terms of that. And in the last couple of games, I don't think we've done quite enough out of those three. It's just it's just a simple pass in the midfield in space, turn and find a runner. Felt like all we did was pass back into the defense, and Dicky Viner back and sideways. It was so frustrating to watch the whole game. And yeah, he did obviously bring Garner Hickman back into the well, yeah, he subbed him on from around the 56th minute, but yeah, it still didn't really spark anything up. But yeah, we need to definitely sort that out, and I'd say bring him back for, well, we've got West Ham next, but I'd say the next league game as well.
I don't want to make comparisons, but Alex Scott, and do not talk about him. By the way, I messaged you about this. Do not talk about him. I will just end it all. I won't really. But Alex Scott last season, or for the time he was here, Pearson played him with Matty James generally, and sometimes Joe Williams, and Andy King. So Scott gave us that balance. I think Taylor Gardner-Hickman obviously not on the same level as Scott, but in terms of technical quality and ability to pick a pass going forward, I don't really think there's a better player in our midfield who's got the capability of doing that. So if you lose that balance, and it goes all shifts to one way, it could easily shift to the other as well. We could literally put Taylor Gardner-Hickman alongside another attacking midfielder in midfield, and then have a base of Joe Williams or Matty James, and it's not going to work either. But in this case, it was way too safe. And I don't think Manning, well, you could say, well, rest and injuries and whatnot caused a bit of trouble, but you know what I mean? It's just too safe. Joe Williams and Matty James in the same midfield. And I think Taylor Gardner-Hickman needs to be in there, if I'm being brutally honest. And hopefully this Adam Murphy fella coming in, who looks promising, but we don't know if he's going to go straight into the first team or going to go into the under 23 setup with Brian Tinian and co. But maybe he can provide some sort of attacking ammunition in midfield, because I think we are a little bit necessary. And that brings us on nicely to the fact that we probably need an attacking midfielder in January. And that is, I think, another important position to recruit alongside striker. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what Alex Scott brought last season, just the ball carrying and making those passes, picking the ball up, and he's just a perfect midfielder. I mean, he can kind of play anywhere in the midfield now, but he just has, that attacking sense to move the ball forward and find a pass, which we just did not have at all with Matty James and Joe Williams there. And yes, we have Taylor Gardner-Hickman, but I think he has a good balance. But we need more of a kind of, I don't want to say, but yeah, Alex Scott type with that kind of agility and passing to move from defense to the attack, which we just have not seen. So yeah, definitely someone who can partner up alongside Matty James or Joe Williams, who knows how to pass forward, I guess, which seems pretty basic, but we didn't have that in our last two games.
It's not about passing forward; it's passing forward with quality. And I think I mentioned this. I think we did it once with quality in build-up play against Millwall, where I think it was Knight and Williams made good little 1-2, and then Williams got in and had the opportunity to pick a good pass. But it's about passing forward with speed and quality, and I don't think James or Williams do that on a consistent enough basis. And I think Gardner-Hickman has the quality to do that.
Yeah,
and I think that's
definitely
that's the main issue. Do you want to talk about West Ham then? Because
just to end on the transfer window business, I mean, we both agree, and I think most people do, that we do need attacking midfielder, but as well as, I mean, we probably need a player in each position, really. I mean, a defense, once we have McCrory in, and I guess Atkinson and Naismith become a bit safer, and Hayden Roberts. But yeah, as of now, I mean, our back four, as well as obviously Max. I mean, Max is not too big of an issue, but they've played a lot of games. So yeah, I mean, if one of them got injured in the recent weeks, I think it would have been very worrying. But yeah, they played a lot of games and done well. But I think we need a striker as well, because at the moment, Conway, we know what he can do, but he hasn't been convincing. He scored some penalties, and scored that tap in against who was it? Forgot now. It was that away game against Huddersfield. That was it. Yeah.
that was a good finish. To be fair, that was not tapping. That was a good finish.
It was a good finish, but it wasn't. He was right in front of the goal. He had to just get it past the keeper, but yeah, and obviously Cornick is just a donkey. So
okay, I mean,
and Naki Wells, he's coming to the end of his time. I can't lie. I'm kind of slating all the players now, but he's well good at holding up the ball.
Useless. He's useless. They're just all useless. So I don't really want them. But if they win the next 3 games, I'm happy. If we win the next 3 games, Harry Cornick suddenly being compared to Messi. Oh, what a great squad player! Great squad player. He must be such a positive man around the dressing room, even if he doesn't get a single minute. That'll be the argument. Yeah, I thought Cornick was really poor actually when he came on. I'll put a positive spin on it. It was one of his worst substitute appearances in a City shirt. So that's the lowest bar it can go. So it can only get better from this point. He's gonna score at West Ham now for all money. Let's talk about West Ham then. I am not confident in the slightest.
I'm the opposite. I think we go and win, to be honest.
Okay, right.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, this Sunday we take the trip to London Stadium. 8,000 odd fans, which is a good turnout. We sold out. You're heading down, I know, but I'm still away, so I can't make it, unfortunately, or fortunately, if we get battered 6-7-0.
It's gonna go to a replay.
Do they still have replays? Yeah, they have replays for round 3. That's how we beat Swansea last year. I think they should scrap the replays, to be honest. I don't think
no, because in our case it would be a packed out Ashton Gate, wouldn't it? So that would generate so much revenue. So that if it is a replay, and then we get a home game against them at Ashton Gate, just generates so much revenue. And think of the teams below us. It's a great thing for us, but it's an even bigger thing for clubs in League 2 or League 1, where if they manage to just sneak a replay, somehow get a home game against them, against a big club like West Ham or another top half Premier League club like Newcastle, or even one of the big six, God forbid. Like you know what I mean. It's a big thing. So I wouldn't personally scrap replays.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it is a big difference, but for lower clubs, yeah, but otherwise it creates quite tight schedules, and it rarely happens when you get that. Well, depends who you do, draw out the pot, but getting that away day, and then yeah, I feel like for us we'd have a better chance if we just go to straight to penalties.
But
If
no,
we do draw.
no.
I think if we drew, I'd rather, money aside, I'd rather not do a replay at Ashton Gate. I think we'd do better on penalties. Just if we get that draw, I don't know.
We haven't had a penalty in God knows how long.
Oh, that's
Well,
so true.
we've
got a lot, but as in we're not used to it completely.
Yeah.
But
Not used to
no,
penalties. That is mental statement.
Bournemouth
Right.
had a crazy run as well, even longer than us. They had like 650 odd days.
I think it was 2.5 years. I think Bournemouth waited for a penalty.
And
mental.
Semenyo was the one to win it as well.
Right, don't talk about Exeter players. I will just, I will cry. Yeah, we'll talk about West Ham then. They'll be without Mohamed Kudus because he's off to AFCON. Do they have any other African
I think
players?
Paqueta was injured. Paqueta got injured against Arsenal. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
They're playing tonight. Actually, they're playing
they
tonight
are
against Brighton.
They are playing today against Brighton, and that'll be an interesting game. Hopefully, no malice involved, but half their team gets injured. That's not too.
Aguerd is injured. Zuma is injured.
Oh, that's two centre backs.
Paqueta is injured. Yeah, Paqueta is injured. Hamstring. So yeah, he'll be.
Oh, that'll be. Oh, hamstring. That's gonna mean he's not gonna be risked. David Moyes, ex-Bristol City player, obviously. Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. That's news to me. Fair enough.
Ex-Bristol City player. He loves the city. He just does, and yeah, I think he's a.
He's a class manager, to be honest.
He's a brilliant manager. I think West Ham are going to play a. I don't know what sort of team they'll play. I think they might play a B-ish team, AB team, maybe a few good. I don't think the likes of Jared Bowen are going to be there. Let's put it that way. Or Edson Alvarez in midfield.
Yeah, I really don't think they're going to put a strong team out. Just considering the amount of games they have as well, they're obviously playing Europe. On top, They don't have a European game for a little while, but they've had a lot of games and had the EFL Cup recently. They did lose. They are a strange team though. They are pretty, like, they've been doing incredibly well. I mean, they sit 6th place right now. But then they go and lose 5-0 at Fulham, which was just a shock result. But they obviously came out, beating Wolves, beating Man U, beating Arsenal, which I was actually at, lucky enough. My friend had a season ticket. So yeah, I think that was more Arsenal being shite, but they capitalized on the counters. So, and on the set piece. So yeah, I do not think they'll play a strong team though. So I doubt Ward-Prowse will start. I just don't see them risking anything really, because I think they look at our form and stuff that they'll be pretty confident. They just beat Arsenal. I mean, I don't think they'll be too worried.
Well, yeah, they won't be worried in the slightest. But yeah, in their last season of their FA Cup game at Derby away, which is a similar sort of kind of game, I suppose, for them, really. They put out an AB team, a few players in there who wouldn't normally start, but generally it was fairly strong, and enough to obviously beat a League One side.
How much did they beat Derby?
They beat them 2-0. But yeah, I think West Ham or a team, if they play a lower league side like us, they will put out a B sort of side. It'll be fairly strong because they don't have a massive squad. But generally there might be a few players in there who you might normally recognise in a Premier League match day. I think that'll probably be David Moyes doing that again. And I think City, it's tough at the moment because we have quite a few injuries. I don't know if Ross McCrory's going to be back. To be honest, I don't.
Maybe a substitution because I think he said he might be available for the West Ham game on the
Well, if he is,
matchday squad.
That's a massive bonus if he is. I wouldn't start him, obviously.
No.
But on the bench, you know, if we're like 3-0 down or something, and you know the game's over with like 30 minutes left, might as well just give him a run out. If we're, God forbid, you know, trying to hold on to a lead, I wouldn't risk him because the game would be high intensity then, and West Ham would be trying to press, obviously. But if the game's, you know, at a walking pace and West Ham are basically through, and we're not gonna lay a glove on them, just bring on Ross McCrory, just see what he can do, and he'll be motivated. If he's brought on, I think he'll be motivated. You know, prove himself against a big opposition like West Ham as well. That would be a good first impression on Manny. On the pitch, I'd say obviously Max in goal. I wouldn't start Stefan Bajic, not in this one. Tanner right back. No other options at centre back, so Viner and Dickey. Yeah, so Campering at left back. Hayden Roberts injured. I would drop Matty James. I'd put Taylor Garden-Hickman back in. Jason Knight, I'd start. I'd go Joe Williams midfield. I'd start him 4 consecutive games, and then I'd go Mehmeti off the left, Conway up top, Sykes on the right. I think that's strongest.
I think there's that is our strongest starting 11, and to be honest, there's barely many changes you can do. You can put Vyman in there, Bell, Wells, and Matty James. So other than that,
I don't want to lose 5-0.
I'd start with those 11 as well, and I think when you hear those names and Mehmeti, I feel like he can play well in these types of games. Obviously, West Ham play a very attractive style of football now, and they look great. So I think obviously Liam Manning will want to have a go at it, and I think everyone will go for it. And if we turn up, we haven't won in our last 2. We did lose late on, but I think they'll turn up to this FA Cup game and the noise will be loud. 8,000, and also West Ham home fans are absolutely horrendous, I have to say. So
I think this, you mentioned the 8,000 away fans. Sorry, 8,000. I think 8,900. I think are going, which is going to be brilliant. But the psychological effect that will have on the players, because the West Ham home crowd won't be that much because it's an FA Cup game and because it's against Bristol City. It's not a hugely attractive opposition, let's be honest. But I think from our players, having 8,900 fans there who are going to be singing throughout, it's going to be, I think, massive boost for them. It's not obviously going to be the only factor as to why if we win, but I think if Manning sets up right in the right system and the right players starting off with the right formation, something maybe could happen, because I think West Ham, as you said, inconsistent at times. They're still in the top 6, I think, which is mental achievement, and have progressed in the Europa League, I think, as well. So it's going to be obviously a tough game, but maybe if we take the lead and, you know, frustrate them to a certain extent, maybe do what Millwall did to us yesterday, you know, frustrate us in this first half. When they get more and more frustrated and maybe the home fans turn on them a little bit, Mehmeti, you got Sam Bell on the bench, you got Mark Sykes, you got Tommy Conway, you got Harry Cornick, Donkey, in the words of Matisse here. You never know, you could possibly do something.
look, yeah, obviously the FA Cup is one of the most brilliant tournaments, and obviously anything can happen. We beat Man U only over 6 years ago now. Well, that was the EFL Cup, but
Yeah.
very
Just
similar.
same problem.
But yeah, I think we can go out there, and like you said, the fans are going to make a massive difference. And West Ham, I don't think they'll sell out, nowhere near selling out. And I've been there;
Do they
it's not
do they
that
sell out
impressive.
their? I don't want to sound disrespectful to any West Ham fans listening to this. Far from it. Do they sell out their Premier League home games?
No, the one I went to, there were a few empty seats. I'd say about 85% full.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah,
I mean, it's a massive. To be
um,
fair, it is a massive
it
ground.
is a big stadium. But I think we can dominate in terms of noise from the fans, and if we go out there, if we
Only
bring
thing
the
we're
game to
dominating
them
on the
and
pitch.
try and play our style, literally. Um, but yeah, just like you said, frustrate them. You never know. I mean, the odds are obviously against us, but just a couple moments of brilliance. And yeah, they'll obviously play a weakened side, so we'll see. We'll see. It should be a good game.
Oh, and quickly, on Sam Bell, I think he's far more effective on the right than he is off the left. I thought that was the case
Yeah,
against. I thought that was the case against Hull, where he came on and made a massive difference. Just literally just running at players. He didn't have to cut in anymore. Just ran up straight at players and put a ball in. That final ball obviously can improve, but I think he looks far more of a threat, if I'm being honest, coming on the right rather than the left. And when he came on yesterday, he initially came on the left, and then Sykes went off injured, didn't he? And then Cornick came on, and Cornick played on the left, and Sam Bell played on the right. Then they switched, and then I thought he looked far more of a threat, if I'm being honest, playing off the left. So if he is going to start at West Ham, which might be the case, play him on the right, I'd say, and
of
possibly
course.
drop
Wait, yeah,
Sykes.
because Sykes might not even be able to play. I don't know if we've got
Oh
any
yeah,
news
God,
on
forgot
it.
about that.
So
No,
yeah, he
Manning
came
said
off.
they're waiting for a scan, so I don't know. But if Sykes is,
I doubt he'll start. So
I
yeah, we
take
could see Sam Bell because in recent times, I just feel like I don't see too much of composure with Sam Bell. But yeah, recently, especially the Birmingham game as well, we had that little nutmeg he got through on the right hand side a couple times. He's a good player to have, and yeah, this could be another chance for him to come back in the side and prove himself again. Because obviously, recently with the preference with Mehmeti, he could come and create something amazing.
yeah, I take that back. Actually, I would not risk Sykes in the slightest. If it's a I don't know, if he's still struggling on the when is it Sunday we're playing. If he's still struggling on the Friday or the Saturday, I'd just not bother. I wouldn't even take him, to be honest, because it's just not worth it. Not worth the risk. 'Cause Sykes is very important to us, so just keep him out. Possibly, yeah, Sam Bell I'd start actually, because I think he looks a threat. And if he gets 90 minutes on the right or 70 odd minutes on the right, he could be a threat. I think he could. And on the counter attack, which we will play against West Ham, on this pace and his dynamism, combated with Mehmeti's trickery and skill. I don't know. I think Bell can cause them a few problems. A lot maybe. I know he's not been the most prolific goal scorer, but in terms of causing problems for oppositions, he's not really let us down. As you said, I think the double nutmeg against Birmingham was quite brilliant. And then I think he made a massive impact against Hull as well. So yeah, and he looked far better yesterday when he came on the right against Millwall as well. So if Sykes is not going to be available at all, start, or he is going to be a risk or a little bit of a doubt, and we are going to risk him by playing him, I just wouldn't bother. I'd put Sam Bell on the right. Anything else?
Yeah. On lineups, no, but I'll get into my prediction. I could go with the realistic answer.
7-0.
But it probably would be. I mean, if Paqueta was fit, I mean, he still wouldn't start, but he is some player as well. Yeah, I say we bring the game to them, but with recently just goal scoring. I mean, again, it was just so inconsistent with 7 goals in 2 games and then back to back goalless games for us. But yeah, I think we can get a result. and I'll go with what we were talking about earlier with the replay. So I say a 1-1 draw, scrapes it in the second half, I reckon, and then we get the return play at Ashton Gate for a game that would be good, because they'll probably bring some better players on then if we bring them there, and then obviously with our home ground, a sellout would be great. But yeah, I say we get a result. On the score sheet, Sam Bell proves himself again, gets back on the score sheet and proves his worth in the side. But yeah, and I think we can do it. I mean, realistically, yeah, maybe not, but the cup is something, and I think with the fans especially as well, I think that will create some good noise. 9,000 is a lot for an away fans especially. But yeah, 1-1 and replay. So.
I think West Ham has generally been a decent ground for Championship clubs in the FA Cup to go to. I remember West Brom beat them when they were a Championship club a couple of seasons ago. They're obviously a lot better than us then. I think Blackburn may have snuck something. I think they got through, and I think that might have been the EFL Cup. But I think Blackburn won there last season at West Ham. So it's not a terrible ground for Championship clubs in recent history. I don't see it there. No, I don't see it. I'll go 3-1 West Ham.
It's not a horrendous scoreline.
Not horrendous scoreline. I'll take any 2-0 defeat, any defeat by 2 goals. 5-3 would be brilliant. Actually, that'd be a great game. God forbid we score 3 goals as well. Yeah. I'll go 3-1. I think we'll score. Might be a consolation. We might take the lead, and then we concede 3, and then you never know. I'll go 3-1 to West Ham.
Yeah, and then kind of brings the Christmas period to an end, because our next 5 fixtures, I mean, providing we don't go through or get a replay against West Ham, they're all single match weeks, single game weeks. So we don't have any midweeks for the next 5 fixtures. So yeah, a bit more time to rest now, which is good. Get the injured players back, and then yeah, I think that'll do us good, because yeah, as I think we could tell in the last 2 games, a lot of tired legs. Everyone just looks a bit lackluster. But yeah, West Ham this Sunday. I'm gutted I can't go, to be honest, but I'll be watching.
You did say no midweeks, but we do have the Friday night game against Leeds at Ashton Gate. If you want to count that as midweek, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's but less recovery time, basically.
Yeah.
So that's there. And then a couple of really tough games. I think Middlesbrough, Leeds, I mentioned. Watford at home is never. It's not going to be easy, despite the result of their plays. So yeah, it's going to be a testing period for City, and these last 2 games, was a good opportunity. It was a good opportunity to bet bank some points, and it unfortunately hasn't been that case. Only won the last 2. That is it from me. Unless you want to add anything else.
Nothing much. We'll probably be back after the West Ham game. We'll have to see. And then back to the Championship after that. Hopefully we can bounce back. Because those last 2 games were very frustrating to watch. After that 3 on the bounce. But yeah, nothing much. Yeah, just follow us on all our socials and subscribe and all that.
Yeah, do subscribe to the 1894 podcast. You can just hit that red button and then hit the notification bell every time we do upload. As Matisse said, we might be back after West Ham. We'll have a look at the situation then. And if you're going to West Ham, good luck. I'll be there as a day tripper, obviously, not as a fan. I'm only there. I'm only there to see the city. I'm only there to see West Ham. That's what. I'm not there to see a Sam Bell masterclass at all. I'll be celebrating every West Ham goal because that's it's just what I do. And when Millwall scored a late winner, actually, you can hear me in the video saying "up the Millwall." That's what exact words I said. So yeah, up the day tripping Liam Manning Reds is all I'm going to say. thank you very much for tuning in, everyone, whether you're watching, listening.
Okay.
Wherever.
I'll wait. I'll keep this short. Alex got another masterclass. Sorry, I had to bring it in as well. What an assist. And FPL points. So that's always a bonus.
He scored against Tottenham, mate.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that as well. Yeah. Well, no, I didn't forget. I was actually watching it. He scored twice. One was offside.
Yeah.
At the end. Good finish, good header. But yeah,
it's a good header for the second one. Bloody hell. Good header. Can't do that for us apparently, but again now magically he's in the Prem. He's going to get loads of headers, and now apparently he can head a ball. Didn't know he could do that, but there you go.
But yeah, great to see him doing well. But yeah. I won't talk too much about him.
He's not our player anymore. It doesn't matter. Although if he does want to come back in January, I'm waiting. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, hopefully by this time next week, City have had maybe a signing, Adam Murphy in particular, and maybe a result at the London Stadium, a complete upset, a major upset, based on the last 2 games at least. It's weird how in football, where results almost change fans' mood a little bit. But generally, City's still in a good position. I think 11th, aren't we?
I think we're even higher.
I think we might be 11th, and then because Hull lost yesterday, which was a decent.
Yeah, the Sheffield Wednesday coming up. Oh yeah, we are 11th. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
This relegation battle is going to be interesting as well. See who Birmingham bring in as well. But
hopefully we're not in it. I'll just jinx that. We're going to be in a relegation battle now. So decent position for City. Bigger picture is still not bad. I'd say it's still pretty good and probably a little bit better than average. Thank you very much for listening, tuning in, watching wherever you are. And yeah, we'll catch you all after City's epic upset at West Ham. Thank you very much for watching.